One thing we know in the world of content creation and sports debates, the GOAT debate will never end, and the arguments will continue to be highly subjective and mostly just smear campaigns of another player or era to try to make the other somehow look better, but making major moments in basketball seem like just nothing. But that's not really what I'm here to talk about. But it does pertain to the always interesting GOAT debate. I was listening to FYF Sports on a live with some of his usual suspects, and they brought up something that they bring up a lot. How Jordan fans bring up 6-0, 6 championships in 6 tries. They talked about it as being a last effort for Jordan fans in the GOAT debate. Here's what Lamont from FYF Sports said.
But if you start playing around with these numbers and stats, the way Jordan fans try to do with LeBron James, that puts Jordan at the bottom of a lot of these conversations. So everything that I talk about hinges on a bad approach sometimes, right? I know a lot of people don't have Kareem as the GOAT. There's a ton of people that don't have Kareem as the GOAT. But I started this off by saying that Jordan fans, they tie themselves to what? They tie themselves to Jordan's resume and say that it's his 6-0 resume. That part of his resume makes him better than LeBron James. So if we follow that logic and we start applying it to other players like Kareem or even like Kobe in your case, we start to see where that logic starts to fail.
So throwing out 6-0 arbitrarily like it's something done by a host of superstar NBA players initially tried to devalue it, which is a tactic they use, but isn't nearly as strong of a case when you do what should be done in any debate and apply context to that 6-0 instead of just using it as a blanket statement. That 6-0 was a combination of 2 three-peats. We all know what three-peats are, but if you somehow don't, it's winning a championship back to back to back. Winning a championship 3 times in a row. Let's start by discussing how many superstar players did that since the NBA-ABA merger of 1976. Michael Jordan and Shaquille O'Neal / Kobe Bryant together. So with nearly 50 years of the merged NBA, 3 superstar level players have three-peated at least once. You can question who was the alpha on that Lakers squad from 2000 to 2002, but if we go by the finals MVP, then Shaq was the de facto alpha. So that drops it to 2 players that have been the head of a team that has three-peated. So not post-merger Kareem, not Magic Johnson, not Larry Bird, not Moses Malone, not David Robinson, not Hakeem Olajuwon, not Karl Malone, not Tim Duncan, not Jason Kidd, not Dirk Nowitzki, not Dwayne Wade, not Kawhi Leonard, not Stephen Curry, not Kevin Durant, not Giannis Antetokounmpo, not Nikola Jokic, and of course, not LeBron James. Now we said he won 6 championships and three-peated twice. How many superstar level players have 2 three-peats since the merger? Michael Jordan. I'm not going through those list of names again, but if they couldn't do it once, well, you know the obvious. But he was talking about the totality of the NBA. So let's continue putting this into context. Since the inception of the NBA, how many superstar level players have three-peated at least once? George Mikan, Bill Russell, who 8-peated, Michael Jordan, and Shaquille O'Neal, who we just talked about. That is 4 players. Adding on to those players I mentioned before, not Bob Pettit, not Wilt Chamberlain, not Jerry West, not Rick Barry, not Lou Alcindor / Kareem, not Oscar Robinson, not Elgin Baylor. And people want to highlight John Havlicek being 8-0 in the finals. But as stated earlier, he was the finals MVP only 1 time. So like we said with Kobe, he wasn't the alpha male for those championships. And Russell is very impressive with his 8-peat. That will never be topped. And his 11 rings are a testament to his greatness and should be emphasized when talking about the greats. But so should 6-0. But those being a part of 2 three-peats, seeing as how in the modern NBA, which I say is post-merger, he's the only player to have ever done it. And in reality, Bill Russell and those Celtics are the only other ones that can make a similar case. So with 75 plus years of basketball, him being one of 4 players that have won more than 2 championships in a row as the head of the snake, well, that's highly impressive. But let's dig even deeper with it. Jordan won those 6 championships in the span of 8 years. Counting once he won his first and last, it was done in 8 seasons. So at his peak, he completely dominated when it comes to leading his team to championships. And in those 8 years, he retired for a year and a half. So for being technical, Jordan himself won 6 in 6.5 seasons. Yes, he had a 15-year career, so that's 6 and 15, which is solid. Not the best, but let's look at the other players commonly associated in the GOAT debate. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar also has 6 championships. However, he won those championships in a span of 18 seasons. 18 years, basically. From his first to his last, it took him 18 seasons to have the same amount as Jordan. Tim Duncan, who has 5 championships, it took him 16 seasons to get them, which is one less than Jordan, of course, and those Bulls. Magic Johnson also finished his career with 5, and did so in the span of 9 years. Not bad, but still one less, and took an extra year just to get to 5. Then, of course, LeBron James, who has 4, that took him 9 seasons. Jordan again has 2 more, and it took him less time to get those 2 more. If you have Bill Russell in the debate, then obviously this is one area he trumps everybody. But when put into proper context, 6-0 in the finals is enough on his resume to combat the other baselines some of them use. But of course, they won't put that context into it. One more quick thing before I get out of here when it comes to the GOAT debate is the fact that it often isn't just about the 2 players. If we go by what media and these creators say, the GOAT debate is between Michael Jordan and LeBron James, 2 players. But oftentimes it deteriorates into comparisons and analysis of other players to try to make a point for the player you're defending, which kills the whole vibe of a debate. Shout out to my co-host Big Nige who came up with this analogy, but if we're debating apples and oranges, what do bananas have to do with it? So if we're debating Jordan and LeBron, what does Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, or Kobe Bryant have to do with it? But those are common names brought up to try to make a point. I used to enjoy the debate, but it's gotten really out of hand lately. I have a video really breaking down why I'm starting to hate the GOAT debate and why it's basically pointless coming soon, but thought I had to comment on this after listening to the live stream by FYF. I'll link it in the description as they are always entertaining, and for the most part, I usually learn a little something. So check them out. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit that like and subscribe button to help us get to that 2,000 sub goal. Getting very close. Also, if you really want to help the channel, become a member by joining, as I plan to do some things members only and would love for you guys to be a part of it. Thank you, and be back soon with more content.